Hey, Facebook friends, how are you? So I wanted to go live today because oh my gosh, I have just had, every time I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to say, but I just feel like I'm called to go live today because somebody needs to hear this message. So if you're watching live, bear with me as I am just going to talk as I decide to talk. And if you're watching the replay, same thing. But let me know. Let me know if you're on. Let me know if you've joined. Let me know what made you join, because today I really feel like it's going to be a very spiritual talk, a very heartfelt thing. Like when I can feel my emotions come up when I am talking about a situation, I know something awesome is going to be said. So somebody needs to hear this message today. But especially because I don't really like to talk about my rags to riches story, more for a business standpoint, that if you're in business and you're telling a rags to riches story, you attract people down here that can't afford your stuff, all this stuff. Like, and people will tell you, don't share your rags to riches story because you're going to attract this down here and they're not ready for what you have yet. But I feel like today is a day that I need to talk and be very vulnerable. About where I came from, about why I do what I do. People say, why do you teach money energy? Why do you do all this stuff? Why do why do you talk from stage? And I really comes down to like, I know I'm here to help somebody. I'm here to save marriages. I'm here to help women grow out of themselves into this beautiful, what they were here, their purpose. What's their purpose to be here? Good morning, Janelle. How are you? And I was thinking this morning, and it's going to bring tears to my eyes, because I was thinking this morning about when people say, oh, I can't afford it, or I can't, right now I have, Finance Your Destiny open. We have events we're going to, we have all these different, or events that we have all these different things. And if I am stumbling over my words, it's because I'm trying to process as fast as the downloads, or like I'm trying to process as fast as the downloads are coming, because I really know that, like I said, somebody is supposed to hear what I have to say today. But it makes me really uncomfortable when I have to share the stuff that could offend some people, because I never want to offend some people. But I also want you to know that sometimes the hard conversations are the conversations that you need to really change your life. And I remember the times that I would say, oh, I can't afford that, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. It was like, I can't. To the point of, I remember when I was pregnant with my first child, and I couldn't even buy groceries, and my husband would get paid and he would come home and he'd be like, what'd you eat today? And I'd be like, nothing, like we don't have anything. And he'd be like, he'd get so mad and so angry. He'd be like, just go buy food. And I'd be so stubborn because I didn't want to deal with, like, if I bought food, we didn't have money, and he'd be mad. And but also if I didn't eat, then he was mad because I didn't eat because I was pregnant. And it was all these just like back and forth. And when I see women that struggle with, I don't dare talk to my husband about this financial situation, but I also am sacrificing here because I have to, and I have to like hide the situation that's going on. It breaks my heart. Like, it breaks my heart to see women, or men, men get in this situation too, but like, specifically, I can relate to the women. Like, it breaks my heart to see women in these situations that they feel like they have to protect everybody, but they're not even protecting themselves. And so, like I said, like I was pregnant with my first child, and we couldn't afford anything. It looked like we had the perfect life. We lived in this beautiful house. We had a beautiful, huge yard, which we got married in. I love it. But we had great jobs. I was a massage therapist. He was a mechanic. But inside, like, we were both falling apart. Inside, it broke our hearts that, like, I was pregnant and we couldn't even afford groceries. Or even after we had the baby, like, this went on for like 2 years because we got stuck in our cycle. We got stuck in our money cycle of not changing anything. And I remember when Tab first got diagnosed with F-pies, and he was allergic to all these foods, and like, I decided to go the natural route of healing him. Our grocery bill ended up being like $1,000, and I was like, how in the hell am I going to do this? How in the hell am I going to be able to afford groceries and save my child's life when I can't even afford to put like groceries now in the table. I couldn't even afford the groceries before. My friend, my best friend, Haley Wait, she'll tell you if she even watches this. I don't even know if she watches my videos. She provided clothes for my child for like 2 years because we couldn't afford clothes. And at that time, she didn't realize how big of a blessing it was because she was just being nice and being like, here's hand-me-downs, like this or that. She didn't realize, like, in that moment, it was saving us. In that moment, like, I didn't have money to buy clothes. Like, my mom like bought clothes for like my child at that time. I was going to say my children, but I only had one child at that time. And it was really heartbreaking because we both wanted to fight it. We wanted to be like everybody else. And we are like, how is it that all our friends could go out to eat? And I remember thinking we would go out to eat with our friends and we'd like pick and choose which days we could because we knew we were going to spend like $40 to $50 and we didn't have that. And we were like, okay, we don't have this, but we want to go. And it was like this big battle. And then we would go and we'd come back and we'd get in a fight because then we didn't have money for chicken food or dog food or all these other things. And it was like, when does this end? Like, when do we get a break? And so if anything that I teach ever can save somebody from that situation or people can relate, that because I was like, there's no way. Sorry, I feel like I have to wipe my nose, so I should have brought tissue, but you guys get to watch me smear my boogers all over my face. But we couldn't have been the only ones. We just were the only ones that maybe were so triggered by it, and probably not. Probably deep down inside, everybody else is fighting about money, fighting about like crying themselves to sleep at night because they don't know how they were gonna like. Don't even talk about needing tires on the car. Like there was no way that was gonna happen. Like how would that even ever happen? And so when you start to really think about where you're at, know that you're not alone. It's just nobody else speaks up about it. I was talking to Todd yesterday when we were driving. We were driving to Idaho, and I was just talking, and I said, you know, sometimes like I'll still go to that place. Sometimes I'll just feel like, man, like if only we had like this much more, if only we had this. And then it really brings me to tears because I go back to where we were. And my husband reminds me often, like, do you not remember? Like, it would be nice if we had a house right now, like we're renting and all this stuff, but it's not. We want to put our focus in growing our businesses, but sometimes it's hard to not be jealous and be like, man, I wish I had a yard for my child to run in, or I wish I had, you know, we went on more family vacations or all these different things, but we choose not to. And he has to remind me we could if we pulled from somewhere else. And he's like, you have to remember like how much we really do have right now. We can spend $300 every single week on groceries. We have a nice car. We have the ability to serve other people and give money to other people. And we're in such a better situation. We can give our kids any experience they ever want. If they want to be on sports and if they want to do this and that. Like I said, bear with me as I'm talking because downloads are just coming. And so it's like I can't even process very fast. And I thought, what was the breaking point? And the breaking point was when we finally just chose into change. We chose not to give up. We chose, number one, not to give up on each other, because there were so many times that like where it's like just so much easier to like separate. It's so much easier if we just don't do this. And because we thought that was the answer. And sometimes when you think you have the answer because it's easy and it's going to take this big drastic change, when really sometimes it just takes your mind to just be like, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to not do the same thing over and over and over and create the same cycle, because it's when we do the same things over and over, we get the same results. And it was so hard and it was so scary, and people bashed us, and we were the weird ones for so long because we were the happy people all of a sudden. We had vision boards and declarations, and I don't care how weird you are, if those simple things are the things that break you from the cycle of being in so much, letting money be the control of your life, letting money be the control of your destiny. Like, all I thought is, yeah, we could get divorced. We could let all these things go downhill, and we could try to see if that'll help. But then I thought about my life without my husband, without my children, without all these things, and there was no way I could do it. No way. because I would rather be struggling with people than not struggling at all, like by myself. And so when we decided to step in and learn all the stuff we learned, it started to work. And it was just one little break at a time, one more debt paid off, like one more inch. It's like, wow, we could actually pay for this next seminar. We could pay for this next thing. And I was like, wow, all these kooky, weird things are actually working. My husband was getting job opportunity after job opportunity. Sorry, I feel choppy. Can you guys see me? Because it's choppy on my end. And seriously, I'm going to wipe my snot because I don't have a tissue. And I was just like bawling my eyes out. But seriously, this is why I do what I do. Because I can go back there and you can see how it brings up so much emotion in me. And I refuse to be like everybody else and tell you, have all this debt, live miserable, get divorced, live paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. Like, I refuse. Money was ultimately and truthfully the case of the end of my 30-year marriage, and it would have been successful. And see, things like that break my heart. Things like that should not be a thing. And if people can just learn how to really master their mind and master their beliefs around money, it can save marriages. It can save health. Like, if people have money to actually use alternative medicines to cure cancer or to help food allergies or all these different things, like, if people actually had the resources, they could go do all these different things that they really want to do. But so many people are so blocked with money that they let money dictate the decision and everything that they do in their life. And so for those of you that are just fed up, you're sick of it, you're sick of the marriage fights, you're sick of not being able to buy holistic stuff to help your health, if you're sick of not being able to get massages because your neck hurts and you have migraines and all these different things are coming about, but you don't have money for it, insurance doesn't pay for it, and these are the excuses that you use day in and day out and you're sick of it, I'm telling you, the best thing you can do is invest and finance your destiny. It starts next week. This is the very last chance that you're going to have this week to get into that course. And I can tell you there's not been a single person there's been 3 people that have dropped out, and it was due to, I pushed them and they didn't want to break through their cycles. They wanted to live in that excuse. They wanted to live in that victimhood, and that happens, and that's okay. And I love people from afar. But what I'm telling you is there's never been a single person that has not signed up and got a return on their investment. If not times 10, if not times 100. This class is a very beginner class for how do you start to shift your relationship with money? How do you go from that deep, dark place where I was at, and how do you just barely even start to survive? How do you even start to fathom the fact of catching what your money cycles are, catching what is really the cause for your money situation? Because I can sit and tell you right now, money is easy, opportunities are easy, relationships are easy, all these things, but you're not even processing that because you always put me on a pedestal, which I shouldn't be on. Because even still, there's times I fall into cycles, but guess what? My cycles are shorter and shorter and shorter. My beliefs around even my fights with my marriage, I still have fights in my marriage, but they're shorter and they're shorter and they're shorter. And if you can really start to capture what's really going on with inside your mind, oh, hey, Haley, she just joined. I was just talking about you and bawled my eyes out. So go back and watch the replay. But seriously, like, if you can really catch things right now and you decide I'm done, I don't know what it looks like. I don't know like what this, to me, a small investment, but to some people it's such a huge investment. But literally it's a few $100s, and to some people it's so scary, and I remember that. But if you choose, I'm done doing this, I'm done sitting in this cycle with my business, my relationship, my money, whatever it is, and you're just done, I'm telling you, take a chance on yourself. Because the second me and my husband took a chance on ourselves, our whole entire world changed. like completely upside down. And I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not. It's the next level of hard. But the reason we continue to grow is because we're not afraid. We're not afraid of that fear. We're not afraid of that next level of growth that's scary. I could bawl my eyes out every single day for how scary the next step is, and I do. And I'm okay with that. But the thing is I don't stop, because people like you that I'm connecting with right now that need to hear these messages is saving a marriage. It's saving a life. It's saving somebody from depression. It's saving somebody's health, because they're no longer afraid, and they have people to collaborate with together to figure it out. I have people I can reach out to on my hard days to say, this is what I'm really struggling with, because I no longer have to die and struggle by myself. So many of you right now are struggling by yourself. And if you were to speak up, even on this live, just like Chris-Ann did, somebody else can be like, wow, she spoke up. I'm going through the same exact thing. And if you're going through the same exact thing, or you're going through something different, you just speaking up, the world is dying and suffering and broke and poor because nobody is speaking up. And if you decide today just to speak up, or even just to take a chance on yourself, things will start to change. Yes, people are going to make fun of you. Yes, people are going to think you're crazy and woo-woo and all of this stuff. People, you guys saw me. I got publicly shamed for how long, with hundreds and hundreds of mean comments. Go look at my Amazon book. It's like slaughtered. Why do I keep going? Would I keep going for the hate that I get on a day-to-day basis of people not liking the way I do things? Guess what? I don't care. Because if it saves you, and me and you can come together and be friends and live in this hard world together, guess what? That's what matters. If I can step on stages and help people realize that, like, my dream job, honestly, is to step on stages and almost for other people and talk money energy before, see, I close my eyes because I can visualize it, talk money energy before anybody else even gets on stage and talks, because I know that these people have things that they're going to offer, and people are going to be like, oh my gosh, that was such a scammy event. Oh my gosh, all they did was pitch stuff. And if I can, like, really help people break down that those people might have something that could save their business, save their marriage, save their money energy, whatever it is, that money is no longer an excuse for you, that money is the reason you choose into things. Money is the reason that you decide to take a chance on yourself to create different results, because those people that are suffering in their health and rotting away in the hospitals, and all they might need is to go to, who knows, Japan, and go to some juicing facility to cure their cancer, but they wouldn't even think of it because it's not an option because of money. That is what a disordered world, whatever, I don't even know. I can't even think right now because I'm so passionate right now. That is what's breaking the world, is people don't have options because of money. So if this is you and you're like, I'm done, I'm fed up, and you listen to me bawl my eyes out and you're still on and something is calling to you, PM me, and I'm serious. Let's get you in this course, and let's not let money be an issue. Because if nothing else, and you related to the beginning of this video, that was my life. I am a real human being, people. Like, I have fears every single day of my life. I have decisions I have to make that are so big and scary that it's like I could fall into pieces. My anxiety is so high all the time, and I've learned to let anxiety and fear be what rules me. And I am so lucky that I've healed my marriage on this side, that I have somebody that when I am falling apart, I can step up and say, just like yesterday, I was like, man, it would just be so nice if we had this and we had this and we had this. And he can bring me back to look at where we were. Look at who we used to be. Look at, like, the type of people that we were, and look at who we are now. Look who we surround ourselves with. And even if it's scary, and even if it's like we're taking this leap of faith half the time, that we don't ever know the end story, but I know that we are 100 times further than we ever been, and it's been a few short years. I can trust, because I understand cycles and patterns, that if we continue to go, even if I don't see the picture, I know how to create what I want, and I know how to surround myself with people that know the answers that I might not have. And that's how it works, you guys. That's how you start creating change. We still, seriously guys, I just want to wipe my boogers like all day. Like I just want to blow my nose on my shirt because I'm talking through my boogers. But that's how you start change. And if you want to change your children, if you want to change the way that you're sick and tired of seeing everybody else use the same excuses, guess what? You go first. Quit worrying about your spouse. Quit worrying about your children. Quit worrying about these people around you, and you go first. So that was my long rant. I'm going to go blow my nose now. If you guys want in, I'm telling you, now's your chance. Now is your chance. And I love you guys. Have an amazing day. I feel like I've missed so many comments. I feel so sad for my best friend. They have horrible money mindset. They think they can't change. It's too late. My husband and I are trying to influence them gently, but it's so heartbreaking. It really is. It's so heartbreaking. And we have to remember that we were there. And you get to love them. You don't get to enable them. You don't get to go down to their level. You get to show them the possibilities. You get to show them the solutions, and you get to stand up. And this is why people could say, oh my gosh, she does these live videos, and then she pitches at the end. That's why, Amanda, you do live videos and you pitch at the end, because I know on this video there's going to be multiple people that reach out to me and want to buy what I have to offer, and it's not a pitch fest. It's not a I'm spamming them and I'm trying to make a gain. I know those lives will be changed. I know that they are going to leave that course, 4-week course. They get 2 times a week with me. They get accountability every single day. They get a Facebook support group. They get tracking. Like, they are going to be so set up for success that they cannot fail. People either leave this course. Like I said, I've had 3 people drop out of all the courses I've ever done. 3 people drop out because they didn't like the pressure of having to switch out of their victimhood. Other than that, everybody else has had massive success and has came out of it so grateful. It is testimony after testimony after testimony. So I love you guys. You guys are awesome. If you have any questions, please message me, and I will answer any questions you have. I will make it work for you. We will get you in there. I love you. Have an amazing day. Thanks for being here for me and letting me be vulnerable on social media and bawl my eyes out. But I know somebody needed to hear that, and obviously somebody needed to see that, or I wouldn't have bawled my eyes out. So I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Have a great day.